Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV and welcome to this live news in brief. Really, we're going to talk about some of the latest rumours. They're all the same. There's nothing absolutely brand new, but we're going to talk about some of the latest updates, let's say, on a few players. And the first one we're going to look at obviously Koulibaly, and again from Sky Italia today. It says that Man City's pursuit continues to be heavily covered in Italy, and there are some interesting updates. They report the defender's agent, Farli Ramadani, has met Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis to talk about the player's future. The officials had dinner in Capri, where the representative made another approach on behalf of Manchester City. Despite the strong interest from Guardiola's side, the Premier League clubs are not willing to spend, or the Premier League club is not willing to spend 75 million euros, which Napoli have demanded for him. A reason not to spend that much, they claim, is that City are also interested in signing Nathan Ake from Bournemouth, and they're claiming that could be a cheaper option. I don't see that as Ake being our first choice. I think Ake will just be a second centre-back if that's the case. Says Sky Italia doesn't make it sound like De Laurentiis will give the Premier League side a discount for Koulibaly, as Napoli stand firm on their demand of 75 million euros for their 29-year-old star. That said, 75 million is 25 million less than the 100 million euro previously quoted. So there's at least been some improvement, so they say. So I wouldn't be too worried. I've seen a lot on Twitter with regards to people saying, "Oh, people are City going to be like they always have been, arguing and over 8 million, is it worth it?" I just think City will buy the player. I do think at that price in particular. I think they're just trying to haggle, and if it saves us 10 million euros, it saves us 10 million euros, and that's another 10 million euros towards maybe Nathan Ake, which, if we look at Nathan Ake as the next potential mover, well, Nathan Ake, there's rumours today that Ake, other teams have potentially been sniffing around Ake, let's say, and the price is around about 30 to 35 million, depending on what you read in the news outlets. Yeah, it's Manchester Evening News has said that Man City have made the first step to try and sign Nathan Ake from Bournemouth in what could be an eventful summer at the Etihad. Pep Guardiola may look to reshape the City squad before the start of the next season. It says the contact has been made with Bournemouth, who are facing relegation from the Premier League, and Ake is keen to leave the South Coast club. It's believed Ake will be available for a fee around about 35 million, although the Dutch defender is keeping his options open now that Chelsea and Manchester United are also thought to be interested in the player. One other bit of news today is surrounding Ferran Torres. Now, the headline in Sport Witness says Man City have made a strong effort for the 40 to 50 million euro forward. It says deal closer and closer, and Guardiola is pushing hard. And it says that City have made a strong effort to sign Ferran Torres from Valencia, and it may include the prospect of Yangel Herrera as part of the deal. Now, he's been heavily linked over the last 4 or 5 days, certainly, with a move to the Etihad, with City potentially in the hunt for a winger to replace Leroy Sané. They're claiming that it fits the bill, and several reports today indicate a move is now on the cards for the 20-year-old. Sports Bild were the first to report on the deal, explaining that Dortmund have given up on the winger as he already has an agreement with Manchester City. So that's something a little bit different from the previous ones. Marca have already covered the situation and say that the winger seems to be living out his final days at the La Liga club, and City have made a strong effort to sign him. Indeed, they've already offered 35 million euros for his signature and are contemplating including youngster Yangel Herrera as part of the deal, as Valencia have shown some interest in Yangel Herrera before. However, if you read what the sporting directors of Valencia have said, They value him between 40 and 50 million euros. And they've also turned around and said that progress is being made. However, City did initially offer 20 million euros, and they said that they wanted 40 million. But they're saying that they don't want a swap deal, and they don't want to, as the sporting director or chairman Peter Lim said, making it clear that he does not want to mix operations. So that's sort of saying that they want the money rather than City trying to throw in Yangel Herrera into the deal. So we'll wait and see. So we've got Koulibaly, we've got the likes of Nathan Ake, and we've got the Ferran Torres incidents. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a guest. It's Martin. Alan, sorry. How are you? Got Martin on the brain. I'm surprised he's not messaged me today. That's a first.
He's phoned me twice today, once in the morning and once in the evening. So
I expect another in a couple of hours because I'm sure it's late there for you and he'll want to wake you up. Right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
How are you, mate? All right?
Yeah, I'm okay. Still in lockdown in Melbourne, and we've had 484 cases today, so it may go to stage 4 by this weekend, I reckon, in Melbourne, which basically means a 5K circle around your house that you can't go out, so they'll shut all the businesses.
Really?
So I'm working from home right now, so it's not a problem, but it's very quiet in Melbourne. But Sydney's open for business, so focus up there. But there we go.
Well, let's just have a look before I come to you on some of the questions. We've got obviously a load of guests on. Let's just see some of the comments. JSGA Football. Hi, Andy. How are you? Hi, all. The beach is lovely. Martin is on. He's not messaging me, but he's saying the beach is lovely. Hey, up, Andy Pearson. Have you got your red Speedos on, Martin? Oh, God. Dread the thought. Fancy new graphics, Ryan? Yes. Martin says let's just see here. Martin's saying we need Koulibaly and we need to stop penny pinching Ake's third choice behind Laporte and one other. Yeah, I agree with that, and I don't think it's penny pinching. Martin, we've got Momo Junior too. He says Ruben Diaz. I think that's going to be well out of price out of the market. I think he'll be definitely more than Koulibaly. Let's see. My mate Stormy says, why now? When he's 29, is everyone suddenly interested in him at 75 million? Has virtually won nothing in his career. He's in Italy. Very, very good player, but not for 100 to 120 million, which was originally quoted last year. Ryan comes back to my mate Stormy and says he's not at Juve. What are you expecting him to win? He also says, what had Virgil van Dijk won before Liverpool other than the Scottish League, which means about as much as the Community Shield?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. But let's see if there's any Celtic fans on. Ryan also says it doesn't look that great, to be honest, given he's playing in Portugal as well. Walshy 1042 says, is Koulibaly not too dear? Not really, considering last summer and sort of winter periods, there was talk of 120 million euros. But I think 75 million. I think Harry Maguire went for over 80.
Yeah, I just think that the club's now looking to try and get cash as much as they can, especially with what's going on with COVID. It's affected every club financially, and I think if you're looking at the Torres deal, Koulibaly deal, I think clubs are looking to try and get as much as they possibly can, and they're prepared to negotiate down. I think it's a point where City are negotiating, maybe looking for paying a fee up front and then doing add-ons rather than just paying the full amount, what they're looking for. So like Koulibaly, maybe 65 million plus add-ons to get it up to the 75 over a period of time and appearances. I think that's what City will be angling towards. That way they're getting something out of it. I think, like you say, the Torres deal, from what I've heard, that they've agreed personal terms with Torres, but it's now just haggling over the fee.
Well, I think that's the same thing as what originally the 20 million offer was. I think the 20 million offer was give you 20 million up front, and then there'll be sort of add-ons and bonuses for appearances and goals and things like that, which might take it up to 35 million euro. I don't think they want that. I think they want cash.
Absolutely.
I think you'll see this with Napoli in particular as well. They'll want the cash, and then they'll try and buy a 30 million euro centre back to replace him, pocket 40 million, things like that. So don't be surprised if the Koulibaly thing drags on a few more weeks. And
I think he will. I think they'll be haggling for as much as they possibly can.
And City will be in the same position, even though we've got money. If they can save 10 million, we have overpaid for a few players in the last sort of few transfer windows.
We've got to be careful because we spent a lot of money on our defence in the last 4 or 5 years, and not everyone has worked out. Mangala being the obvious one that stood out. We've paid a lot of money and players have not worked out. Cancelo cost us a fair amount of money. He's not settled in properly. A good game at the weekend at left back. So I think with the Nathan Ake scenario, I think they'll go and get him anyway. I think Otamendi and Stones are pretty much making their way out after this season's finished. So they're going to need to get 2 defenders in, central defenders in. Ake will be all right as a because you're not going to play the same 2 centre halves for 38 games in the season plus cup games. You're going to have to mix and match occasionally and bring players in and rest players. And Koulibaly at 29 needs to be rested if we do get him. And Ake's someone who they can nurture over a period of time. He's obviously got talent. I know Chelsea are backing for him, which tells you something straight away. Lampard likes him. And he's obviously a talented player playing in a bad team. To be fair to Bournemouth, they've overachieved over the last 4 years. Because considering the size of the club and the finances they've got available, I think they've done quite well, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I said last night on the live stream, I said every time I've seen Ake live at the Etihad, he's been one of the best players on the pitch, and I was including the City players in that performance as well. It's superb, really, really good. So for 35 million, I think peanuts in this day and age for somebody who's got Prem experience, but I don't think he'll be
international experience as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Played a few times for Holland.
Just on to before we sort of maybe add some of the comments. Things. One comment here I want to show, and it's about last night's game because we didn't see you last night on the live stream at the time. So there's Ivor's on, and Ivor says, "Who was that Cancelo guy last night? Looked like he could play." What were your thoughts on last night's game?
To be fair, I think he was having a look at him last night because we've got the Madrid game coming up in a few weeks' time. Mendy's suspended for that return leg against Madrid, so he has to make a choice of either playing Zinchenko or Cancelo in that position, in my opinion. And from what I saw last night, he certainly did really well. But they've also got to consider who they're playing against in Watford. They didn't really offer a lot of threat, did they? Let's be honest. Madrid are going to offer a lot more of a threat.
Well, I think it made it easy last night with their right winger was constantly offside.
Exactly. Yeah. So he has to make a choice. I'll be honest with you. I don't want Laporte to play left full back because we need him at centre half.
Yeah, especially against Benzema.
Absolutely, and I just think I think they've got an option there, and he has to make a choice which one's best. Really, I know that a few of the guys on the channel, like Martin, probably would want Cancelo playing and not Zinchenko, who's not the biggest fan. But he impressed me. He's got pace, which is good. He did. I thought he did quite well. I thought we played all right last night. I thought we passed the ball quickly from the word go. And that's something we didn't do against Arsenal. But Arsenal kept narrow and defended really, really deep, where Watford didn't do that last night. And that's when we struggled. To be fair, Madrid are going to have to come at us because the 2-1 down. So they're going to have to come at us. And if they come at us, that probably will suit City because it will leave more space. for us to get involved in. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But I thought City did really well last night. I thought Rodri had a good game. Casillas had a good game. I thought Bernardo played better last night, and that will do the world of good for his confidence, because I think he's been quite down ever since he had his personal problems off the pitch.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the same of him. So that might have given him a bit of confidence, which is good, because we need him firing, because he's too good a player not to be fired.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sterling did well. I just hope we don't have to take penalty shootout when Sterling's on to take them. That worries me, but there we go.
Well, there's a question here, and probably leads to last night's performance, and it's from Billy Hughes. Says, "Do you think City need a new striker?"
I think they do, but I think they'll be waiting for the year after, to be honest with you. I don't think they'll go and get one this year. Whereas he talks for a year extension, I think that says everything, to be honest with you. Whilst they said they've got 300 million to spend, I don't think they will spend that much. I think they're still wary of UEFA and the FFP rules. We've still got to abide by them. I think buying 2 centre-halves, a left winger, possibly a left fullback, I think that will take us to the maximum, to be honest with you. I think they'll wait till the year after. I'd like to see young Haaland come to the club, which would give us options the year after. We don't have to play the ball on the floor as much then. We can go in the area. When teams do what Arsenal did on Saturday, I think we need some aerial presence in there as well, where we can play the ball quick across it and get somebody in there.
I mean, you mentioned about Bernardo. Andrew W. says, has Bernardo had issues off the field? I've not heard. Explains why it's not in the Bernardo we all love. Yeah, I mean, there was the issues with the Benjamin Mendy tweets, and that everything since that moment, he's never been the same player. But I agree. He definitely looked better.
He did. I think he said that he got fined. The people were calling him racist, which he wasn't, because Benjamin Mendes is his best mate, for God's sake. And he ended up getting fined, didn't he, and suspended, which he seems to be more of a confidence type player. I think that might have knocked him a little bit. But hopefully after yesterday, last night when I was watching it, he looked a lot better. But he was playing inside as well. He wasn't playing on the outside, and he looked a lot better. So hopefully that's probably a turning point for him with a better luck.
We've got JSGA Football. He said Koulibaly, David Alaba, and a new striker. I talked about last night on the live stream, and he would definitely be a perfect signing because of his age, his experience. Pep's worked with him. He can play left back naturally, and he can play as a centre back. So the options are there. Now, the rumours I heard was I don't think Alaba was too keen on moving to the Premier League. So I'm not sure about whether that will happen.
I can't see him coming. I'll be honest with you, Alaba. I think we need someone who can compete with Mendy, but sometimes step in when he needs to. Maybe not first choice, but I mentioned Bertrand from Southampton as a possible option. He's 30-year-old, experienced, played international football, and I think he would do a really good job for us. I think if we're going for Chilwell, I think he's going to be too expensive, and I don't think he'll be available. If Leicester make Champions League, I don't think he'll be available. If they don't make it, which might be the case the way the results have been going recently, I think there'll be a lot of clubs chasing him, I'll be honest with you.
I'll bring it back up. Martin said, ask Alan to name the 5 players he would like to sign.
5?
I don't know whether it's 5, but I mean...
I'll wind him up here. I'll wind him up to Aki, which he doesn't agree with, but there we go. Obviously, Torres. If we couldn't get Torres, I'd like to see Sancho back, to be honest with you. Haaland. Yeah, I know. Haaland will be the centre forward.
I don't think he's going to leave this year.
He's not going to leave. I don't think City are going to buy this year a centre forward. I know that a few people object to that, but I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. Koulibaly, yes, centre half, he'd fit straight in, clearly. And I still think there's going to be a central midfield player coming on, because I'm not sure who that will be.
Well, I mean, talking about that, that's sort of just trying to see. There is, I was reading, I can't remember what it was in, but it was, according to Gazzetta dello Sport via Milan Live, Man City have reignited their interest in AC Milan midfielder Ismail Benessa, with manager Guardiola apparently falling, in quote, in love with the
I saw that as well.
Benessa, who started 25 Serie A games under Pioli this season, making a noteworthy 2.3 tackles per game in the middle of the park, is now attracting Guardiola's interest as a possible midfielder. It says usual defensive midfield colossus Fernandinho has been absent from his role for most of the season, having to deputise at centre-back. Record signing Rodri has arguably failed to fill the Brazilian boots. I disagree with that. With Benessa now with an Etihad move. Now, according to them, he's got a £45 million buyout clause. Now, for one, I cannot see City spending £60 million on Rodri and then this season buying another £45 million defensive.
Like we discussed before, Fernandinho's first year was exactly the same as what Rodri's was first year. He struggled with the pace, and we weren't sure about him. But after that, he's been absolutely sensational.
I think he was good last night, albeit against Watford.
Yeah, but I'd like to give him one more year. So he's got used to. You got to understand that people, when they come from overseas, they've got to settle into a new country, settle into a new home, settle the family in, as well as get settled in the football. It's a change as well. It does take 12 months. Bernardo was the same. First year he struggled. David Silva, first year he struggled. The only one that didn't really struggle was probably Yaya and maybe Sergio. Yeah, they hit the ground running. But that's only very, very occasionally that happens.
I mean, he's playing, and I've said this so many times on the videos, he's playing in a position which is so specialised for Man City.
Oh, yeah, it's crucial.
He was exceptional at it. It's not just your defensive midfielder who just sits deep, plays the ball into an attacking midfielder who starts to play. The build-up starts from that.
Transitions as well, yeah.
With the two centre-backs that have been constantly rotated this season behind him, he's having to worry about what's going on behind him. Plus, he's worried about transitioning the ball quickly. Where Fernandinho has got that experience that he can read the game so much quicker. He's maybe not as quick, or all right, he is probably a little bit quicker at the moment than Rodri, but he was never like rapid, but he could read the game so well. And I think it's such a specialised position in this Man City formation and lineup and team under Guardiola that he needs a year just to even understand that specific role. And I think he's definitely going to improve next season for me, and I don't think he's going anywhere.
No, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think the four centre halves that he always wants. He'll have young Garcia. I think he wants to keep there because he's showing a lot of potential at 19 years of age, and he's going to get a year more experience there. Hopefully Koulibaly, hopefully Aki, and then you've got Laporte. There's your four centre halves. And Aki, don't forget, can play left fullback if he needs to as well. Yeah. So he's got
midfield.
Yeah, exactly. So the left full back is a concern for me. They've tried for about 4 years to get a decent left back in. Mendy's so up and down with his form and his injuries. I think they do need to get somebody in there. But the question is, I'm not sure who. If Leicester don't make Champions League, maybe go for Chilwell, but it's going to cost a lot of money because it's homegrown. It's whether City want to fork out that kind of money.
Yeah.
But if City don't get in, who's going to get in?
Yeah.
United, Chelsea.
It looks like they're in for. If I was going to go for a midfielder, there is one midfielder I would spend the money on, and that's Kai Havertz. I would, without a shadow of a doubt. But I don't think City are going to invest 90 million, but I think Chelsea will. And I think Chelsea next season, the type of signings they've made so far, they're going to have some serious squad now. Because Kai Havertz is an absolutely brilliant player. Brilliant player.
I hear what Martin says, that spend big. It's not about spending big. It's about spending on the right people.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
We've made a few errors in recent years, in my opinion. On we have to make sure that the people that we get are right for Man City at this point. And by signing people from the age of 22 to 25 would be good. But it's not always possible. At the moment, we need an experienced centre-half in there who can lead as well. I don't know what Koulibaly's language skills are like. Can he communicate? The key to me was when we've lost Vincent, the biggest thing I noticed was not just on the field, but off the field as well. And in the changing rooms, the influence of him being in that changing rooms and around the place is huge. And we've all noticed the difference this year.
I think we'll definitely see more of that when I think Kevin De Bruyne has been given the armband, albeit David Silva's been out since last year. But I think next season he'll be given the armband, and I think you'll see him be more taking control, more vocal,
driving. Because one thing Vincent used to do was when we had them games where you got the scrappy 1-0 wins, the ugly wins. We haven't done it this year. And the person that used to get us those wins by driving the whole team and everybody was Vincent. And we've not had that this year. But Arsenal was a prime example. We weren't playing well. Things weren't working out for us in the game. And someone like him on the pitch would have driven City forward and made sure that we got a result there. And that's been the biggest difference this year, I think, from the team. I think they've missed him big time.
My one concern is if we're going to spend 35 million euros, 40 million euros on Torres, he's a regular in the Valencia team now. Whose position does he take?
Well, he's a right footer, first thing. And I'm pretty convinced he's going to be playing on the left-hand side. And
who?
Well, this is it. Well, Sterling, I prefer on the right anyway.
But then there's only really two other options at the moment, the way that Mahrez offload.
You could have said that about when Sane was playing in the City team. You could swap and move people around, left, right and centre, so they had options. And I think Pep wants that, especially when we have scenarios like the FA Cup semi-final, where nothing's...
But I think the difference with Sane was a natural left-footed winger who was superb. And with Sterling on the right and Sergio up front. Now, Sergio being injured, or Sergio back, there was the option of switching Gabby to the left and things like that. But we've now seen Phil Foden getting Foden into the team regularly. He's occupying more on that left side.
Yeah,
now, Mahrez. Now, if everybody, and I agree, we want Sterling back on the right-hand side, then that leaves Mahrez for the left, or Phil Foden for the left, or Torres for the left. Now, there's going to be two people disappointed. I know we'll rotate, but is Torres going to come here from a regular and sit on the bench for most games?
I've got a sneaking feeling with Pep, that he'll end up going, because Jesus is not an Aguero, he's not a finisher, he's not a number 9 in my opinion. Jesus is more about getting involved, linking play, and hassling the defenders and scoring when he can. He's not a natural finisher. I'm pretty convinced that Pep's going to go down of the false 9 route, and that gives us options if he does that.
We won't do that though when Aguero comes back. No,
they won't. But at least have options to do that.
Yeah.
You can play Sterling up front. You can play Sterling.
It still doesn't answer the question that if we buy Torres, who misses out? Because either if he plays, then either potentially Foden, Bernardo, Mahrez is going to, Gabby or whoever is going to miss out. So we're adding another player into the mix when we're already trying to squeeze Foden into the team, trying to give Mahrez games, because there's plenty of City fans who think Mahrez has had a really good season. So it's like, where's he going to fit in?
See, I agree with you. That means he's got options. See, I like Mahrez when he played for Leicester. Like I said, he played in that number 8 role when he was running that teams from deep. I remember him playing. I don't know if you remember the game when we played them when they won the league that year. We played them at the Etihad. He played on the left-hand side that day, Mahrez. And he looked lethal because he's left-footed.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have to always cut in. He can go down the outside.
Yeah.
Well, Pep seems to like players that he just swap them over from there, but he like players to cut in, because when Sterling plays on the right-hand side, he does the same thing. He cuts in. Yeah. He doesn't going down the outside because he hasn't got a left foot. It depends on what Pep wants, but the end of the day, you've got to back Pep. He runs the football side there.
Yeah, and my only concern is if we're going to spend this money on him, albeit depends on whether we pay 40 million or 50 million euros for Torres. He's young, whatever. I mean, I don't buy into the YouTube clips and things like that, because I've read analysis report from Spain on tactical analysis of him, and exciting going forward. 2 negatives against his name: can't cross and doesn't defend. Now I know Pep can improve on that. It's fine. He's only a young kid, but it's still, we're adding another player in a position that whose place is he going to take?
I'll be honest with you, I'd rather get a left fullback in than another attacker at the moment.
I think we do. I really do. With Bernardo, Mahrez and Foden, the Sterling was guaranteed.
I'd rather get 2 centre halves in. We've got 4 centre halves when you've got young Garcia. I think he's worth persevering with for the next few years, to be honest with you, see how he does. I personally think that we need a left full back in to compete with Mendy, because Mendy can't play every game. No way. Not when he's had a serious knee injury, and when someone has a serious knee injury, there's always going to be issues there with his knee, and they're going to turn differently, they're going to run differently, they're going to be aware that they're injured and play with fear there, and it takes time. I want someone that's going to compete with him and do a good job, but be able to get up and down and be able to defend. We've got 2 right-sided fullbacks who can do it. So I'm not 100% sold on yet, but from what I saw the other day, he did really well, to be fair.
Yeah.
But who was he playing against? That is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, looking at bring up some of the comments before we sort of wrap this stream up. Mahrez had a good season, but we all know there still should be more. He has the ability, but not the mentality to really step it up to world class. He still makes too many poor decisions. I mean, we saw it last night. I mean, technically wonderful player, but again, I keep saying about Mahrez, it just doesn't.
Is he a winger? He's not a winger, is he?
Not a winger.
He plays where Kevin De Bruyne plays, and that's
he's got no right foot. Let's see who else we've got. Even Paul Dempsey says people are forgetting that Garcia is only 19. The more he plays, the better he will from the after start.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's no point in him going to Madrid, because he's not going to get in. He's not going to get in their team, is he? Let's be honest.
Barcelona.
He's not going to get in their side at the moment. No way. That'd be pointless for him to go there at the moment while he's getting picked. And at the moment, I think he's the number 1 alongside Laporte. To be honest with you, I think he's lost confidence with John Stones and Otamendi. So
yeah.
At the moment.
We've got Walshy 1042 says Zach Stefan should be giving chances as the number 2 as Bravo looks like he's going to Turkey.
Yeah, he is. He is going.
I think that will happen anyway, naturally. I think that will be the case. Galaxy apart, Traore
We're not good. The City won't spend that kind of money. There's no way. I know that Martin doesn't like the idea of not spending money, but
no chance.
Not in a COVID environment are they going to pay that kind of money?
No way. You'd never get that money back in a million years.
No way.
Nothing's
going to happen till after the weekend. Let's be honest with you, because the transfer window opens on the 27th. Once this league season's finished on Sunday, then things will start to move quite quickly, I think.
Yeah. JSGA football. Andy, what do you think of Rodri this season? I think we discussed it earlier, mate. I think Rodri is playing in a very difficult position, certainly in a Man City team. He needs that season. It's a very, very difficult position to play. I think we've seen glimpses of excellence. We've seen other, glimpses where potentially he's. I do think if we get two proper centre backs playing behind him, maybe left back, I think that will free him up a little bit more. That he's not worrying constantly about what's going on behind him. Blue Heart says, going off Cancelo's left back performance against Watford, we have competition for men, in my opinion.
Yes and no. Yes and no.
It was Watford, and he didn't really have to do, but does look exciting. My only concern is, Jesus Christ, 3 times he had 3 crosses to play. Every one of them went 20 yards wide of the post. I don't know what
I know. I remember doing that.
Sorry, just to clarify, Andy, I meant Wolves are demanding 135 million, which was, nobody's going to pay 135 million.
See, I like that. I like Wolves as centre forwards. But I think he would possibly worth looking at. They've got a few players at Wolves up front that
Jimenez.
I really rate him.
Well, Kiam said it for most of the season. He said,
I really rate him.
He's 29. We should be looking at somebody like him. But I mean, when you say you're not going to pay fortunes, I think there is one player who, if he does come on the market, I think City would pay fortunes for. And we'll just put it out there and see what people say. But that'll be Harry Kane.
Absolutely. It'd be interesting to see what happens at the end of the season when they're not going to play in Europe, what he does. I think we all know he's loyal to Tottenham. My mate Leo, who lives around the corner, who's a massive Tottenham fan from North London, he loves him. And I think he'll be distraught if he ends up leaving Tottenham. I think most Tottenham fans will be. But do you think he'll fit into Pep's way he plays?
Yeah, I do. Because I think he can drop deep. He can pick the ball up. He can. I mean, you imagine him. You know how good he is at holding the ball up. With his back. You think of him bringing in a Foden, a Kevin De Bruyne, or a Raheem Sterling coming at them. He's good in the air. He can shoot from outside the box. He's strong. He would definitely bring us another dimension. I saw a comment earlier, somebody saying we should really sign a bigger player like Echo. And I don't know whether it should go down that route. I think it'd have to be a specific player. But I think Harry
Kane's 6 foot plus, isn't he? So
it would cost an absolute fortune, though. That's the only thing.
I think the problem with Harry Kane, as much as if we could afford him, we'd get him. And let's face it, we can't afford him. The problem is dealing with Levy.
Gotcha.
It's a nightmare to deal with.
I mean, even in the COVID era, looking at 200 million quid, they wouldn't let their prize asset, the amount of goals he gets and everything. They wouldn't let him go, especially being English and everything else.
I think once he's in the market, you'd have every team in Europe big checks him. It'd be an auction.
Yeah.
United definitely going for him, wouldn't they? Let's be honest. And then Madrid, possibly, Barcelona would do.
Yeah.
And you're talking a host of clubs will chase. Paris Saint-Germain as well.
Yeah, so, I think even Mbappe's come out and said he's going nowhere this next season. He's having one more year at PSG. So, I think if you want a player, that's the player that you would want potentially. But we'll wait and see what happens. But anyway, listen, that's the end of this news in brief. It was nearly 40 minutes. I want to say a massive thank you to Alan, late over there in Melbourne, for coming on. Cheers for that, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. I'll see you at the end.
Yeah, you will do. Sunday with Norwich. There will be a live watch along, so come and join us on that. Don't forget, subscribe, hit that bell icon. And if you want to give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. Take care. Hope you enjoyed that news in brief. We'll be back. We'll see you soon. Take care.